Hi, I'm Jeanie. Welcome to my channel. If you are watching this, chances are you, like me, are living with cancer. It really doesn't matter what kind of cancer it is. The medical side obviously differs, but the human side really doesn't. We all have to face our own mortality and deal with emotions like shock and fear and uncertainty, and so many other emotions and challenges that we face. Perhaps you've just been diagnosed, or you may be undergoing treatment. You might even be in remission. Whatever the case may be, please understand, I am not a nurse. I am not a doctor. I am very definitely not an oncologist. Nothing that I say on this channel should be taken as medical advice. Always consult your doctor. This is just one person's journey trying to navigate the difficulties of living with cancer. A year ago, I was bald. I was so weak that some days I could barely stand on my own 2 feet. And I was nauseous for weeks on end, every single moment of the day. A year later, here I am. I have, as you can see, a mop of curly hair. It's always been straight, but it came back curly. I've also just got back from a 3-week vacation to South Africa. We saw some amazing animals, including this beautiful lioness. She walked so close to our car, she actually set off the collision sensors. We also saw baby elephants playing around in the water. We saw buffalo and leopard and you name it. It was an amazing trip. We also saw this little guy. He is a bush baby. A bush baby is a tiny nocturnal monkey. They are so light. They dance around in the trees, branch to branch, tree to tree. You don't even know that they're there. So it is very rare to see one in the wild. I was fortunate enough to get him on video, and I'd like to share that with you at the end of this episode. I am living with multiple myeloma, and last year I had breast cancer too. Myeloma is a blood cancer that essentially causes holes and soft spots to form in your bones, predominantly in the spine and the skull and the pelvis. Those holes, they're called lytic lesions. They typically cause fractures, and that's what happened to me. Last year in January 2024, I was feeling sick, and I had been all day. And I went to the bathroom to make myself sick, and I retched and I heard this loud crack. My pelvis did something weird and I just fell over like flat on my back. I spent a week in a hospital, and ultimately that's what led to my diagnosis of multiple myeloma. Following that, I underwent chemo, I had back surgery, I had a stem cell transplant, I got a breast cancer diagnosis, more chemo, and then a lumpectomy. 2024 was not a good year for me. When you first hear the word cancer, you immediately think of treatment. Chemo, surgery, radiation. You picture hospital gowns and waiting rooms and test results and losing your hair. When you're first diagnosed, you experience shock and fear, and sometimes even a sense of persecution. Why me? What did I do to deserve this? I'm pretty sure most cancer patients have felt that way at some time. When I was first diagnosed, I remember lying in bed with my husband thinking, how long do I have? 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years? I had absolutely no idea. We had not seen my oncologist yet, and we were waiting for test results to come in. The word incurable played over and over and over in my head. I remember wondering if I was going to see another Christmas. And that got me thinking about all the plans that we had made. We've already traveled a lot, but there are so many places that we'd still like to see. Island hopping in Greece and hiking in New Zealand and, visiting Paris in the fall. Because cancer doesn't just steal your health, it steals your future. That's the way it feels. All those plans that you've been putting together, building your dream retirement, and suddenly you realize maybe not. Maybe none of those things are going to happen. and you are left looking at a blank space where your future used to be. That's a kind of grief that thankfully most people never have to face, but those of us living with cancer do. Even if your cancer is curable, there's always that thought playing in the back of your mind, when is the other shoe going to drop? But here's what I've realized. Grief is also about love. You grieve because those plans mattered. Your dreams mattered. You can't grieve something that you don't love. And the truth is, I may still get to do some of those things. I don't see myself climbing Everest anytime soon, but Paris in the fall is still achievable. I realize that traveling is not everybody's dream. It might not be your cup of tea, but whatever is on your bucket list, the same principles apply. So here's what I've learned. Grieving your future doesn't mean abandoning it. It means reshaping it. This isn't about settling. It's about refocusing. Look, I'm not a Pollyanna. I am not sugarcoating the challenges that we face. And of course it's not easy. There are days where you're going to feel robbed. There are going to be days where sadness sits heavy. There are going to be days where you want to scream at the world and stamp your foot because it isn't fair. And that's okay. Grief needs space. In January of this year, we started making our plans for South Africa, planning accommodation, our itinerary, putting together a to-do list so that I wouldn't forget stuff. Chemo brain is real. I was amazed at the pleasure it gave me putting together those plans and how important it is to have something on the horizon to look forward to. My siblings live all over the world, and all but one of us were able to get together in the game reserve. And I was able to keep up with them for the most part. I don't know about you, but I need a lot of sleep. And one day I had to go and have a rest for a few hours. But other than that, I kept up with them. At one time or another, they all commented on how normal I seem. And the best part for me was not talking about cancer. It's not that we pretended that it doesn't exist, but it wasn't the focus. So if you are sitting with a diagnosis, staring at the plans you think you've lost, allow yourself time to grieve. Cry for the moments you may not see. Cry for the people that you love. Grief is real and it's valid. And then when you're ready, lift your head and look around and ask yourself, what is still possible? What kind of future can I still have, even if it's different to what I imagined? Because the truth is, cancer does shrink your life, but it also sharpens your vision. And you realize very quickly what's important and what's not. So today, give yourself permission to grieve. Cry as much as you need to, but also give yourself permission to hope. My future isn't over, my story isn't finished, and neither is yours. And with that, I promised you a video of the little bush baby that we saw. As you'll see, he is incredibly jumpy, and that's because there was an owl in the area. He did not want to become dinner, but dang it, he wanted that banana. Enjoy, and I'll see you again next time.
He is so wary because there's a scops owl. Scops eat these, and oh, look at that. That is nuts. What you got here? This is tasty.